Let's go through a bunch of very important overhaul changes we could be seeing in Modern Warfare 2 for Season 3 and future updates as well. Be sure to subscribe for more update videos like this. And quick announcement, I'm going to be streaming on Kick a couple of times a week. It's a really cool platform, super friendly for creators, viewers alike. A lot of top streamers are moving over there, and since I don't really stream anywhere normally, I thought I'd start fresh there because, again, I'm more of a YouTube type of guy, but I do want to start playing with you guys more on stream, having streams multiple times a week while a video is up as well, and I feel like Kick is a really cool platform to do that. So if you guys can follow me over there, there's gonna be a lot of giveaways there as well. I'll be playing with you guys every single stream. Link to that will be at the top of the description and then the pinned comment down below. Really do appreciate that, guys. Mobile app coming tomorrow as well. Super cool stuff there. But let's go through this video here. A lot of what we're talking about here comes from a guy named Harrison. I'll leave a link to his Twitter and YouTube down below. Be sure to follow him and subscribe to him. He makes really cool graphical upgrades for, right now MW2 and Warzone 2. I'm sure he'll do other games in the future as well. But right now, of course, you guys have seen Fortnite with their Creative 2.0, CSGO 2 being revealed. Activision has a lot of competition. They are barely staying afloat here. We still need changes made to make Warzone 2 playable and MW2 look appeasing. There are still major UI issues here. Meanwhile, the competition has huge advancements and upgrades. Again, Fortnite Creative, honestly, whatever your opinion is on Fortnite, that looks so sick. So there are, again, leaks and rumors that we're getting some pretty cool overhaul changes very soon, but Harrison goes through a full outline of all of the ones we for sure need. So we're going to go through all of this in this video. Hopefully we get this as soon as Season 3. Of course, there's always delays here, and it always takes a bit longer than we want, but let's go through the important ones here. Do I agree with all of this? Do you guys agree with this? Let me know down below. The first one here is overall improving the loot in the game in a couple of ways. So the first one here is the color coding of loot. So right now, when you pick up loot, at least most loot in the game, barring some special items, it's all gray. It's very hard to see what exactly you're picking up. Every type of weapon, item, cash, lethal, tactical, it all blends in together with this gray scheme. And again, going back to Fortnite, we're going to make a lot of Fortnite comparisons. Again, you guys may not like that game, but they did it right with different rarities, different colors for each of these rarities. It's just more fun and intuitive to look on the ground, see a legendary weapon with an orange color coding towards it, and pick that up and get happy, get surprised, like, oh, I found this super rare weapon, I get to use it now. It's just a lot better than killing someone, finding their loot, or opening up a crate, whatever, and just seeing a bunch of just gray boxes everywhere, and you have to skim through that and try to find what items are good or not. I mean, again, I know Fortnite is different because you have different rarities of each weapon, but Warzone could easily do the same exact thing here. Harrison brings us some concepts of what it could look like. Bad weapons, decent, good, great, utility. Again, you could do this in all different ways as well. If Warzone wants to introduce a Fortnite-style rarity system, that could be pretty cool. Or if they just want to color code different things, that's also pretty sick as well. So for the looting improvement, I completely agree there. That is a super cool idea, and I think it would make for a lot more of an enjoyable experience. And also, he goes through loot visibility. This is another big one here. The loot boxes, he says, are 20% smaller than the Warzone 1 boxes. Again, something we already had in Warzone 1. We should at least revert back to that change. But overall, when you find loot on the ground, in this game here, they at least made it so it's floating, similar to Warzone 1. It also falls into the ground. It's very hard to see. I mean, again, Warzone 1, Fortnite, other BRs, it's floating, it's very easily visible, it's super nice and satisfying to pick up the loot there. This may not be a big deal to you guys. I think for me, the most important thing for any video game is gunplay and movement system. So a lot of this here, again, is a lot of UI changes, overhauls to that type of vibe. But I do feel that stuff is still very important. If you have bad UI in all parts of the game, it makes for a worse experience. So improving loot in these ways here, I think would be a really good decision. Another thing here is the player HUD. We actually talked about this before already. The HUD right now, not that visible. It also doesn't give you a lot of information. So his reworked player HUD has a bunch of different stuff here. Of course, your cash, the plates you have, what kill streaks you have, what, other equipment you have as well. Just giving players more information on the fly, so you don't have to ask your friends. You could just look really quickly. For Warzone 1 as well, you could see when you had enough, when your team had enough for a loadout. For this game here, you have to do a lot of math. And again, it's easy to do some simple math, of course, when you're buying stuff. But the point of a video game is to not, you know, go through and add up all these numbers and do inventory management. The point of a video game, in my eyes, especially Call of Duty, is to have quick combat and have it tell you, okay, you could buy a loadout right now, or you could buy this equipment or this kill streak, whatever. And it just kind of gives you that option, and it just makes it more fluid and smooth. Again, it may not seem like a big deal, but again, increasing the fluidity of just using your money and buying stuff would be a huge W into making the game just a lot more smooth here. Warzone 1 is definitely smoother than Warzone 2, but even both games could have seen some pretty big improvements here to get to the like again of Fortnite. Even Fortnite doesn't have this type of fluidity here, but Warzone 2, one of the biggest problems in my opinion is how clunky and slow it is, and you may like that vibe, but for most people, considering Warzone 2's success right now especially, it's a little too clunky and slow for people's liking here. So stuff like this, giving money tips for people, just quick stuff to make things faster, I think is a very big W as well. Now, of course, it's pretty obvious the buy stations are pretty bad in Warzone 2. You have items that aren't available at every buy station. It's kind of randomized for some items. You have item caps here, UAVs. You could get 1 UAV per buy station per team. Very weird stuff there. I mean, Harrison makes a very cool redesign of what this should look like. Again, more similar to what we saw from Warzone 1, but even better, honestly. Buy station, vertical, like most Call of Duty menus have been, not just for buy stations in Warzone. I mean, dating back to multiplayer, we always had the vertical menu system for pretty much every single Call of Duty multiplayer, zombies, etc. I don't know why we don't go back to that. It's just a lot more pleasing and easy and intuitive to use. But that's besides the point here. For Warzone here, the buy station looks great. You have gear, weapons. I think that's perfect there. I mean, they got to hire this guy, Harrison, because he's really on the money here. I don't know why IW changed these things. I mean, there must be some internal testing where they saw, oh, this is a good change. I'm not going to act like I know what goes on behind the scenes in gaming development. Like, I just don't know for sure. But I feel like most people would probably, if you asked like most Call of Duty gamers, they probably would have preferred this type of vertical buy station here and vertical UI and menus in general than what we have in MW2 multiplayer and Warzone 2 and other parts, all parts of MW2 overall. So that's that there. Very cool stuff. Of course, again, as well, buy stations for Warzone, having all items available, being able to get multiple UAVs or at least 1 UAV per person and not just 1 per team, you know, and have items consistently be available at every buy station. Stuff like that. Easy fixes. We should see that for Season 3. But of course, who knows nowadays with IW and Activision, but those are some pretty important changes there in my opinion. Now, next thing here, pings and map readability. This one is a really interesting one, which I actually noticed for the first time I played Warzone 2. First of all, pings just don't work as well. They're not as visible. They're less effective. They don't always stay on the target you're pinging on. It's very weird. I mean, he talks about how pings need to be just larger, more visible to the eye. That wouldn't be a big hindrance on the game, in my opinion. A slightly larger ping, I think, is fine overall. The loadout marker, that ping doesn't say persistent. That's an interesting one there. More color differences on the tac map. So when you're pinging on the tac map before you spawn in, or if you're just like playing Warzone normally, usually, at least for Warzone 1 and other games as well, you have different icons, different color-coded icons. But this game here, Warzone 2, it's green and white, and everything blends in together. And it's just super hard to tell what you're pinging. I don't know. Sometimes I ping things, and I'm like, is this even pinged? It's like a very light highlight, and it's just not intuitive. Doesn't make sense. Make it apparent. I mean, again, Warzone 1 had it pretty well, but you could even improve upon that as well. I don't know, make it colorful, apparent, just like visible on the map. Nothing too crazy and cartoony. That's not what I'm asking for, but just something a bit more intuitive. And I feel like that is a super easy fix there, and most people would definitely benefit from having that. So that's that there. For some other changes as well, for the scoreboard here, it takes too long to pop up, not intuitive. He talks about just pausing the game. There's a bunch of screen real estate to put the scoreboard right there, right when you pause or click menu, whatever. Get that pop up right there. That should be very simple. You shouldn't have to scroll through a bunch of different areas, click a bunch of buttons to find your scoreboard. That should be a simple fix there. Color differences as well for the kill feed. You know, when you're downed, eliminated, you're cracking armor, you get a team wipe, stuff like that. It all just blends in. It's very weird. It's not terrible, but again, color coding, that type of stuff, making it a bit more visible, increasing the text font just a little bit would be a really good fix there. So I completely agree with that. Making the compass more visible as well definitely blends in a bit too much there. talks about the kill counter, making that a bit bigger as well. We're not talking about huge characters on your screen and the HUD where you can't actually play the game. I mean, we're talking about very minor just increases in the size. Everything is just way too small, way too hard to see, honestly. Another big one here, which goes for, not just Warzone 2, but MW2 overall. The lobby is very boring and depressing. I mean, for previous games, you had a kind of animated lobby background where the player was walking through an environment. For previous games as well, I remember Black Ops Cold War, every season you would have different scenes. They would be walking through the new, fire team map. There was kind of like a zombies themed one as well, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm remembering incorrectly, but just stuff like that makes it more interesting, adds some life to the game. In this game here, it's the same just dull background with this soldier and I guess whatever operator you have, but he's just in this big garage, this military base, whatever. I mean, it's just like so boring, and I don't know why they don't change that to make it interesting. I mean, you could have had for this season or this reloaded update the soldier, whatever operator, somewhere on the new Himmelmet Expo map, and that's the cool snowy background. That would have been so sick. I don't know why they don't do that. I feel like, again, it adds life to the game. Of course, these are all things that don't actually affect the core gameplay, the weapon play, the movement. Obviously, that is the most important thing when you're playing and I guess making a video game as well. So these are overhaul changes that, again, maybe we could do without, but I think, again, if we have all of the stuff here that Harrison talks about, that he designed for this video, implemented into MW2, Warzone 2, and, honestly, future Call of Duties as well, it would make the overall gameplay experience that much better. And I actually did make a video on a UI in the past, a couple months ago, and a lot of people were saying, look, gameplay, is the most important thing, and UI isn't everything, but good UI really just, it makes the experience so much better. Like when you're using an app, when you're using something like Twitter, Instagram, stuff like that, Snapchat, if it had bad UI, you wouldn't be as inclined to use it, even if the app provided a good service for you and you got use out of it. Even if you were getting the use out of it for its core purpose, if the UI, if it doesn't look good and it's not, visually appealing, then you're going to be less likely to enjoy your time there and have fun using it, or just want to use it to begin with. So you could have a great game. It's like a YouTube video. You could have a great YouTube video, but if you don't have a good thumbnail and it doesn't really look good, it's just not as appealing to watch. You know what I mean? It's just, this goes for all different things. Maybe like a fast food restaurant or just a normal restaurant. You could have a really good restaurant, but if you have a really just dingy sign out front, even if the food's good, you might not be as inclined to go there, or you might just feel like the food is not as good as it really is. You know what I mean? Just stuff like that. Again, it's not that important, because if the core food is good, it doesn't really matter what the sign looks like. But I think it does enhance the overall experience. Same thing here with Call of Duty. So let me know down below. Hopefully those analogies made sense there, but let me know down below your opinions on this. I think, again, as I said, there are leaks and rumors about IW actively listening to creators. There have been a lot of different creator calls about how to make Warzone 2 in specific better, but, MW2 better as well. We should see some of these changes here. Obviously, some of these might be too good to be true. I think the least likely thing right now from this list here is probably the different rarities. I feel like they're not going to do anything with that, although they really should. I think definitely making loot more visible in other ways is something that they're already working on. The buy station might be a thing that they're just stubborn on. They don't want to change that. Maybe, but, we'll see what they do very soon. Hopefully we get that as soon as Season 3 launches, but maybe by Season 4, at least Season 5. I don't know what they're doing there over at IW, but hopefully it gets better. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see what happens very soon. Let me know down below your opinions on this here. Again, shout out to Harrison. Links to him will be down below in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm a bit sick, but we got through it, man. So hopefully it wasn't too bad there. And again, be sure to follow me over on Kick. Links are down below. Be sure to subscribe for more Call of Duty videos like this. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.